I'm back. Holy shit. Well, if you're seeing any part of the fucking description for this thing, you're gonna notice that I gotta write an essay on whether I find right now in approximately 8 hours. It's actually less. It's 1 a.m. The class starts at 8:20. Yeah, it starts at 8:20, so it's actually 7 hours. But I gotta walk all the way to the university. So there's that. So we changed poems. We're gonna do a different poem. We got Angelitos, Eulogy, and Anger. Y vamos a empezar con el análisis. I do not give a shit also if you don't understand me. Me la puedes marcar en verdad. I don't really care. Angelito is my brother. Can you understand? Rhetorical question. Angelito is my brother. We got Angelitos, Eulogy, and Anger. What the fuck is an eulogy? I don't know. What is an eulogy? A speech of orating why eulogy? It's like no. Oh my god. Ignore that. Merriam-Webster. Can't get any more politically right than that. A commendatory oration or writing specifically in honor of one deceased. High praise. The title implies the person is dead. Ooh, wait. Stay there. Wait. Ooh. Avocado. There we go. This one. Eulogy and Anger. There are three angles I can take to analyze the text. We can go three angles for analysis. We've got the actual wording, the words that are being said, the structure of the poem, and the context of the author, the life of the author. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find the info about the author. I created a tab. I gotta write this in MLA. So also I'm using the normal. Wait, is this? Can you hear me with this? Oh fuck! I hope I'm not being heard duplicated, because if so, I'm just gonna cry. I'm just gonna start crying. Can you hear me now? I think you can still hear me. Hopefully that the previous stuff was not doubled. Let's see if this stream is still if we're not having issues with the stream. Because if we are, I'm just gonna leave it as is. I'm very sorry about that. But customization. Oh shit. I mean, copyright, details. I'm supposed to be able to, okay, there we go. Here we go. This is where I want to go. Nope, it's not receiving enough video. I fucking knew something would experience buffering. The stream status is poor. There we got one viewer. Yay. Hi, viewer. Whoever the fuck you are. Enjoy my... Oh wow, they left. Enjoy my struggle for getting a decent grade in this class. Also, it says it's still not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Did I fuck up up somewhere? What the fuck am I doing? I think I was supposed to, I'm just gonna leave this as it was previously, because it used to be 2,300 in yesterday's stream, and I went lower because just in case. But I mean, I guess I don't know. Make my ugly ass mug a bit smaller, so you don't have to see me that much. Let's see. Is it receiving more video now? It's just not receiving enough video. That's weird. Current viewers. Average view duration. That's weird. Whoever came in definitely did not watch it for 5 minutes. I got no clue. Anyways, we continue. We got one viewer now. Yay. Whatever. And they left. Whatever. Once again. We got Elegy. Title. You know, the words that are being said, the structure of the poem, and the life of the author. We got that. So, we just comment on this. I'm just gonna say, right out of that, eulogy implies someone died. That's what it does. It just implies somebody died. We got that. So now on the author, we're gonna get the author, Tato Laviera. His actual name, his given name is Jesus Abraham, I think. Also, my back hurts. There we go. But his Tato Laviera, he's the poet, a Puerto Rican poet, Jesus Abraham Tato, perdón. Oh my god, I'm fucking idiot. Fue un poeta puertorriqueño en Estados Unidos, nacido Jesús Laviera Sánchez en Santurce. Se mudó a la ciudad de Nueva York a los 10 años con su familia para residir en el Lower East Side, wherever the fuck that is. So, Enciclopedia PR, we're gonna open this in a new tab. We're gonna go to Wikipedia, not for Wikipedia itself, but for the references, which are very lacking. Whoever the fuck wrote this, they're really fucking bad. Not really. But you get the point. Not great. Okay. Luis William. Oh, shit. Somebody used this fucking... Yeah. Somebody in my section used this, this interview, I think. Actually, I'm gonna check that out for a second. Who actually did fucking... Now you're gonna see my ugly ass face bigger. You're screwed for the next like 5 minutes while I check what references have been used. Also, I am rather surprised that there are other people that are working on this, and I can see them because they're adding the references, because we can't repeat references for some ungodly reason. So, just be right here. Miguel González David, Tato Laviera, 63 años, poeta de la escuela New York. So I'm just gonna check that. Oh shit. Check that out if somebody used it. David something. William Bernard, New York Identity. Weighing the costs and benefits of Mexican immigration, the Mexican American perspective. This person probably got the avocado poem, which is the one I was working on previously before choosing ultimately this one to analyze because the other one didn't really have that much content. Oh, this is water, by the way. I do have some alcohol around, but I'm not drinking that. If I do, I'm gonna literally fall asleep instantly. I am very sleepy, and the only thing keeping me awake is like three or 4 cups of black coffee. So there's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I have no idea how many of us are there in this section, but I think there are more than 23 people. So there's definitely someone who didn't add their citations. Either way, I've got these 3 books that I don't know if I'm going to use. I feel kind of bad because I kind of took them for myself and haven't used them yet, and I have to use them. So something from here I've got to use. Whatever. Well, that'll go later. That'll happen later. Claudio Iván. Ok, Remeseira. Poeta, autor y escritor. This one, gonna need a JSTOR subscription, but I have my university gives me access to JSTOR, so we're good. This has got 12 pages by William Lewis. We're gonna go back to here to see if there's somebody who used this quote. William Lewis, yes. An interview from they fucking used it. We fucking use it. Yep, in my very own section. I'm screwed. I can't use it. So I guess the strategy of going to cited by one. So somebody cited this. Okay. Volume information. You do not want to see what my eyes are seeing. Okay, give me a second and I will show you because that is low-key shocking. The shit I just saw is actually fucking amazing. And not in a good way. Not in a fucking good way. Sex with black men, how sweet it is. What the fuck? Anyways, I don't know what any of this is. So we got 13 pages of text. And it's just references. That's nice. That's fucking great. So the only person who ever cited this interview is like a table of contents. So I can't use this, but I can definitely inspire myself from this. La Carreta, holy shit, I'm getting goosebumps and I'm getting PTSD. That's the very well-known, it's a well-known play. No, but it's a very well-known play about like people from the country basically. They're like it like highlights a particular moment in Puerto Rican history where I believe Raimundo Marin, the governor, was like pushing very hard for people to move from the country to the cities, and he tried to industrialize Puerto Rico. It backfired horribly, like disgustingly. And it basically, La Garreta is like a bit of a tragic play that highlights this change, and we've got this like really ecstatic young man and his family. I think his name was Luis. I don't remember very well. I read it like 2 years ago. Forced. So, no, a bit more, maybe like three. So basically, eh, his family, they're like kind of objecting to like the idea of moving to the city. But this guy, he wants to work in the city, and eventually he gets to work with machines, which is what kind of like he's passionate about. But one of the machines, eventually, by the end of the story, spoiler alert, fucking crushes him and he fucking dies. And it basically the entire motive of the story is that of the play, whatever the fuck, is that you know we've got what we know, and then we're moving, and it fucking hurts us basically. La carreta is basically it means like the bandwagon. It's like a fucking wagon where they got in and they moved their shit back and forth from the country to the city while they were like actually moving. So to actually read the fucking interview and actually make something or write something, I've got to write 3 pages for the outline with a minimum of 4 sub-arguments, one and at least 2 contextual evidences. One of them has to be in one of the physical books I've got here. Another one has to be an electronic reference, and a third one must be from a particular article, from a particular article that we have to read. We had to read. I read it already, but I don't remember what the fuck it was about. And I'm cursing a lot. I don't know if like I'm not even monetized, so it doesn't really fucking matter. But yeah, there's that. Feel free to write in the chat. There's no people here actually now. And wow, the live is very far behind, I think. No clue. Anyway, wow, somebody actually stayed for 2 full minutes. That is insane. Can't believe that. Anyways, back to whatever I was saying. Toto Lavera is a prolific poet. In a relatively short period, he has published 4 books and is finishing a 5th. He only lived for 63 years, by the way, so there's that. Okay, so what we know about the poet for now, Jesus Laviera, was born in Santurce. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know where the fuck Santurce is. Like, I know it's in the metro area, like very near the capital, but I don't remember if it's within the capital or if it's like its own place. I'm pretty sure it's its own. It is its own like municipality, but I don't really remember it all that well. So we've got that. Jesus Navidad in Santurce and moved to Lower East Harlem, was it? I don't know. To NY when he was 10. So that's what we know till now. Todavía El Mundo una entrevista. This is, what the fuck is this? NBC. Why do I have this inside? Okay. The Wayback Machine. Holy shit. Poet, musician, dramatist Abraham Tato Laviera, one of the greatest representatives of the New York movement, died on November 1, Dia de los Muertos, in the Catholic calendar at New York City's Mount Sinai Hospital, his family announced. Mr. Laviera, who had been bedridden and unconscious for most of this year, suffered from advanced diabetes. Okay, that's insane. Born in Santurce, Puerto Rico in 1951, 9 years later, his mom brought him to New York City. Now, we already have one discrepancy from the Wikipedia, because the Wikipedia says he was born in 1950, and this says 1951, so that's fucking great. Carrera. He studied at neighborhood Catholic schools and went on to attend Cornell University. That's insane. Oh, and Brooklyn College, but he never graduated. Instead, he became director of the University of the Streets, an initiative aimed at helping young inner-city Puerto Ricans and other minorities attend college. Later in life, he taught at Rutgers University and was active in various forms of community service. His first collection of poems, La Carreta Made a U-Turn, is a self-reliant response to La Carreta, The Ox Cart, 1953, a classic play by René Marquez that depicts in dispiriting traits the migrant journey from the island's impoverished countryside to New York slums. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, no, it was not to the metro. I thought it was like to the metro area, but no. Now that I do remember, it was like them moving to New York. The guy did die in a fucking like in a factory in New York. Luis, the guy. His other books of poetry are Enclave, American, a vibrant embrace of the multiracial Spanish, African, Indigenous, Puerto Rican heritage, and mainstream ethics. They never close this parenthesis, which is weird. All of them have been published by Arte Público Press, a pioneering Hispanic imprint based in Texas. There's not much. There's not much more. Lavera's poems appear in virtually every anthology of Latino poetry. He also wrote about a dozen plays, the last of them, King of Cans, premiered last year. His poetry is a documentation of injustices, painful dualities, and uncertainties, wrote Carmen Dolores Hernandez. It is also a testimony of a community who struggled to defend its identity in the midst of discrimination, poverty, and social exclusion. Lavera was also a lifelong supporter of Puerto Rico's independence. That is insane. It's always the people who are outside, and like I'm not really that bothered by it, but I am. That it's always the people that are outside of Puerto Rico. They are the ones that most advocate for independence, which is weird because like the president of the party of the political party that promotes independence here in the island, um, the president lives in the fucking U.S. and all he does is basically talk over the radio and like share his shit and share it's we understand like most people do not understand the arguments made by those who advocate for independence. In fact, most people just want want Puerto Rico to become a state. Most people within the island want the island to become a state because they don't understand the relationship between the U.S. and Puerto Rico. But nothing that doesn't have anything to do with whatever the fuck we're doing right now. Anyways, um, his work is deeply rooted in his Afro-Latino bilingual heritage. The transitions from prose to poetry, from English to Spanish, from factual conversation to an inspired recitation, are made in an instant. Ance Hernandez. Who the fuck is Hernandez? Oh, it's a critic. She's a critic. Why? Ay, perdón. While reciting his own poems, Lavera's own body sways and dances, even when seated, to the marked beat of his verbal emphasis. Harold Augenbraum, I definitely butchered that, and Marguerite Fernandez Olmos, authors of the anthology The Latino Reader, said that the influence of music, particularly African rhythms, combined with a keen ear for street talk, double talk, and barrio dialect, make his poems particularly apt for live performance. Lavera was indeed a fixture in spoken word poetry venues across the country. So this person already has something in common with Ariana Brown, I think it was, who is the author of the other poem that I was going to analyze, but I am no longer going to analyze. He kept a strong connection with the younger generations of Latino poets. He welcomed all of us without judgment and with open arms. Posted poet Emmanuel Xavier on his Facebook page after news of Lavera's passing broke on Saturday morning. And that's not good enough for a fucking essay. In the last years of his life, blind and in dialysis, Lavera went through rough financial times. A series of articles by David Gonzalez at the New York Times brought public attention to the poet's situation and helped him get a new home. Get him a new home, holy shit. Several tributes to celebrate his legacy were also organized, the most recent of them in May. Lavera's papers are preserved at Hunter's College Center for Puerto Rican Studies in East Harlem. Services will be held Thursday at St. Peter's Church in New York City. This is from 2013, right? Yeah. That's November 2nd, November 2, 5:47 p.m. Afuero. I can't use that though. I can't use any of this, now that I think about it, because it's got to be like 10 or more pages. And I can't use this one because it's already being used by another student. Enciclopedia PR. Is this 10 pages? I'm not sure. I'm just gonna do this real quick. See if it's actually 10 pages. How many pages are we getting from this? We're getting 5, 7, but not of text. Barely 3 pages of text. Fuck me sideways. Wait, there are references though at the end, I think. Yes. I don't know. I think this hasn't been used yet, and it's relatively recent. I've got to check it out. You know, that's how we do it. 10 didn't finish university. 30. Very supportive of younger generations of poets. Irrelevant, but I mean, fuck. What am I even looking for? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm looking for. Hey, we've gotten 3 viewers across a space of. Damn. Y'all actually aren't fucking watching this shit. Screw you. Got 1 concurrent viewer right now, I think. So yeah. You can stay around or not. So there's that. Anyways, he didn't finish university. I know I did. Oh my god. Whatever. So we got that. I can't use this. Can't use this. Gotta use probably this or this. Let's see what this is. The American Poet. Essays. New York Centro Press 2014. That is weird. Oh. Is it this? No. Definitivamente no. It's a bibliography. Oh my god. 30 pounds! You are fucking insane. And it's only a chapter. See, that's why fucking pirating exists. Forward. See full PDF. 7 pages. Can't use it. Screw me. What is this? I hate the New York Times. Holy fucking hell. This is gonna take a while. This is gonna take a really long while. Holy crap. Interviews with writers. Ay, mi madre. Okay. This is gonna be an issue. It's the book. And I don't think I have the links to pirate this. I don't think I can. I mean, I can always try with Sci-Hub, but the Sci-Hub is usually for scientific articles. I really don't think there's. Oh, Sci-Hub has been blocked in India. That is never good. Fuck. I don't know what this means. Translate. No, the language is probably Russian, but still. No hay artículos bajo pedido. There's no articles. Okay. I tried. LibGen. LibGen, yeah. LibGen. Let's see if we free ebook library for knowledge seekers. Yay. So let's see. Let's see if we can actually get the. Oh, never mind. Let's see that history. There we go. Can I get a kiss? Here we go forever. Why do you do that? Oh, I'll see you again. Can I get a kiss? Can I? Can you? Why are you giving me this? I know it's not secure. It's fucking piracy. It's not gonna be secure. I know it. I know that. I accept the risk. Part of okay, .org. Oh, carajo. Let's see. I mean, it says libgen.org here, right here. Like, I should be able to access it, right? Right? Oh, fuck. What'd I do? Well, nothing is happening, so I'm getting impatient. Eulogies. That's happening. Something's happening. So it seems. Or it's baiting me into thinking something's happening. So, related papers, Latin American writers. International Journal of English Studies, Latin American Language Poetry, Themes and Techniques, and Renewal Poetry, and Post-Millennium Authors. I don't know what this is. I don't mind. Oh, there's something wrong with it. ¿Qué carajo pasó aquí? Oh fuck, I pressed the wrong key. And 2 pages. Well, that sucks. Okay, this is from 2013. He was dead by this point. When health problems briefly left him homeless in 2010, he took part in poetry readings with residents of the shelter where he stayed. I can create here, and that makes me feel liberated. He was 60 at the time, which is kind of insane. Being here has given me the spirit of continuity and centrality, and that's better than salary. That rhymes, that's fire. Mr. Laviera, who had been in coma since late January, died on Friday on Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan. The cause was complications of diabetes, which years earlier had left him legally blind, said his sister Ruth Sanchez, who survives him. Who survives him? Is that an actual expression? Along with his daughter Ruth Ella Laviera. He was 63 and lived in East Harlem, renting an airy apartment that his admirers helped him get when they learned he had no place to hang his ever-present Panama hat. In a career that spanned more than 4 decades, Mr. Laviera published books, plays, and poems and made hundreds of appearances at colleges, workshops, and literary events. It is kind of insane that someone with such that is so like relevant kind of just was homeless for like even if for a brief amount of time. It's kind of crazy that someone was just like homeless like that. So we can't use this quote because it's only 7 pages long, and for some ungodly reason, the coordinator of my course decided that that's not enough. 7 pages is not enough. He wants 10 pages. He wants something that is 10 pages long or longer than that. So I can't use that. I can't use this because it's a whole ass book that is not accessible to me. I feel like for only giving us like 4 days, He was very, very fucking picky with the shit he wanted. Which is fucking insane. I also can't use this one. And I also can't use this one. Which is fucking great. Anyway, we keep looking. So this one, no. Claudio Iván recordando a. Oh, this is the NBC one. I can use this. Can't use this. How do you get so much? Oh, look at them right here. No. Is this relevant? Are these the quotes? De literatura latina. Estaban Ilan. Okay. Universidad de las Calles. Okay. University of the Streets. That is what his. Like, it was not his universe. His organization. Sponsor a child is now in session, offering a safe creative after school space for youth ages 8 to 19. And it's not a fucking university, bro. It is like a school or a fucking high school or something. I don't know. But it's definitely not a university. UOTS is a non-profit charitable organization dedicated to providing opportunities, guidance, direction, and innovative programs, and there's no information on them here. Never mind, fuck that. Well, upcoming events. Let's see how old this shit is. This is old. March 5, 2016. University of the Streets was incorporated in 1969 as a non-profit educational organization, spearheaded by the late Muhammad Salahuddin. What the fuck? Okay. For the last 46 years, it is in the educational, vocational, and cultural needs of the community. So, yeah. 2016. Almost 10 years. So yeah, that's not great. Antología Heath de literatura estadounidense, Toto Laviera, página del autor. I think this is just the next. Yep, I knew it. Biografía de Toto Laviera, Centro de Estudio Puertorriqueño. You gotta know more about the guy. But how the fuck can I cite information about the guy if most of the biographies are not more than 10 pages long? So I feel like that was a massive fucking oversight. I don't know. Like, you're not gonna find a biography that's 10 pages long unless it's someone that did some insanely hardcore shit. Actually, I think I did see, not, okay, I know they took too long to respond, and it's still loading. The page is still loading. I feel like that's kind of funny. But, well, I'm gonna actually look now. I'm gonna try to find, I think I saw Toto Laviera. Wait. Enciclopedia. No. There was a website, I think, that does this shit. Oh, the Poetry Foundation. Okay. Diálogo UPR. Okay. UPR. Okay, it actually was 1950. I definitely trust more the Poetry Foundation than Wikipedia. Wikipedia said he was born in 1950, so he actually died. No, he did die in 63. Never mind. Anyway, let's check if this makes the requirement. No, it does not. I could just scroll down and realize that it didn't. That really didn't. Poemas de este poeta americano. El nuevo rumbón, Soledad, Spanglish, Historia del Latero, mi discurso de graduación. My graduation speech. I don't know what a Latero is. History of the Latero, I don't know. Lady Liberty, Americano. The new rumbón. I don't know if that even has a translation. Solitude and Spanglish. So related. Poemas de protesta, resistencia y empoderamiento. Poems of protest, resistance, and empowerment. Why poetry is necessary and search for during crisis. I have no idea. Anyway, let's see some other poems from the guy. Let's see if we find, actually, before we find related works, we should probably analyze the actual work we're supposed to be fucking analyzing. So, what, this page does not exist? What? No way. Okay, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. And let's briefly make this reading so we can get this out of the way and understand the guy, although I can't cite this because somebody already also did. Oh, no concurrent viewers, that's nice. They all left for some ungodly reason. Also, wow. Is it like the same person just logging in to see if it's not logging in, but like coming in to see? Because it says 3 views. So like I'm left wondering, like, if this person is just, you know, coming in to see if I'm saying something relevant or some shit. I don't know. It says excellent connection. I hope it actually have an excellent connection. And look at my ugly ass face. We've been streaming for 40 minutes and have made 0 progress, which is kind of insane, considering a lot of stuff. So, anyway, we continue with nobody on the stream. Pablo Rivera is a prolific poet. In a relatively short period, he has published 4 books and is finishing a 5th, and this accomplishment makes him one of the more active writers of his generation. Tato first revealed his poetic talents with La Carreta Made a U-Turn, a rewriting of sorts of René Marquez's well-known play La Carreta. His poem, Jesus Papote, from Enclave, confirmed his talents. The poem has already found a place among the celebrated work of New Yorker writers, and is perhaps among the best poems by a Latin American author. I would not go as far to say that. I have no idea what Jesus Papote is, but I'm pretty goddamn sure that I would have heard of it by now, if it was really that good. Although I don't hear about poetry, like, at all, so, fair enough. Okay. Got the poems, related works, American. Puta, that's long. Oh! Okay, we're seeing a similar structure here to the one we're supposed to be analyzing, which is here. Look at it right here. Look at this structure over here, and also look at this structure over here. It's somewhat similar. American. We gave birth to a new generation, American, broader than lost gold, never touched, hidden inside the Puerto Rican mountains. We gave birth to a new generation, American. It includes everything imaginable, you name it, we got it, society. It gave birth to a new generation. American salutes all folklores. Holy shit. European, Indian, Black, Spanish, and anything else compatible. American, singing to composer Pedro Flores' palm trees up high in the universal sky. American, sweet, soft Spanish danzas, gypsies, moving lyrics La Española Cascabel presence, always singing out her side. Sweet, soft Spanish danzas, gypsies, moving lyrics La Española Cascabel presence. I do not understand shit. American, beating jíbaro modern troubadours, crying guitars, romantic continental bolero love songs. American, across forth and across back across and forth across and back and forth. Our ships are walking bridges. It all dissolved into itself. An attempt was truly made. The attempt was truly absorbed, digested. We spit out the poison. We spit out malice. We stand affirmative in action to reproduce a broader answer to the marginality that gobbled us up abruptly. Across, forth, across, back across, and forth, back. Forth, across, and back, and forth. Our trips are walking bridges. This might be a reference to migration. I'm not sure though. It all dissolved into itself. An attempt was truly made. The attempt was truly absorbed, digested. We spit out the poison. We spit out malice. We stand. Affirmative in action to reproduce a broader answer to the marginality that gobbled us up abruptly. I've got no clue. I don't know what the fuck are we spitting out. The attempt was truly absorbed and digested. The attempt to do what? Because I don't get what the shit that is said previously. So I don't really know if it's related or not. So American, walking plena rhythms in New York, strutting beautifully alert, alive, many turning eyes, wondering, admiring. Well, it's easy enough to understand. American, defining myself my own way, anyway, many ways, I'm a vegan, with a big R and the accent on the I, which only means that that's the syllable that has the most strength. American, like the soul gliding talk of gospel, boogie music. Oh shit, this is long. So, very proud to be Puerto Rican, the guy. Now, let's actually go to the fucking poem. And actually, are we here? Okay. He was homeless for a brief amount of time when he was 16. This isn't even close to nearly enough context to analyze an actual fucking poem. And I gotta write 3 pages of this, so I gotta write 5 pages, but 3 of the outline, which the format is somewhere over here, I think. Angelito's eulogy in anger. Let's actually fucking start analyzing this, the actual, poem. Can I make annotations though? Can I? Should I? Can I write on it? That's just a razor. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, if I do, it's gonna have to do with like one of these cheap pencils. It's gonna be like, grr, grr, grr. This is slow. This is very slow. Bro. Not that bro talk we misuse. Not bro. Actual brother. But the real down brother blood salsa. Sangre de madre. Blood of mother. Like, we share the same blood type shit. Trying to make a puddle of blood, but the fucking pen is losing sensibility. Yeah, just then it just lost sensibility right then again. Otra vez, it did. Okay. Maybe blue. Let's pick blue. Angelito is my brother, dancing slow curves of misery, nodding slow motion tunes of alcohol dynamic soul. Drunk, arrastrándose por las calles con sondar de ángel loco, dragging himself through the streets with his crazy angel walk, kind of ease. I fucking hate these pens because they're so fucking useless. I don't know where I'm writing. Drunk. My hand-eye coordination is also very ass. This is not being I'm not being very productive with this. Standing on the usual corner, the talk of all the affliction in the ghetto. He is very addicted. Red. Berry. Hope it fits. I feel like addicted is just not gonna fit. Also, how do I even write here? See, I'm trying to write fast, and that's what happens. That's what happens when I fucking write fast. Also, yeah, size is not great here. Ooh. This is gonna take a while to get used to. Also, I think I missed the D here. Yeah, it's two D's. Very addicted. Angelito is being sponsored by soft legislators and by the multi-million dollars that the racket is worth annually, and all of you love the godfather of the all-time ghetto best film forever. ¿Me entiendes, papi? Angelito lo tenían ahí, entrándole las venas, cosas sucias que lo imprintaron. Imprinted. What? Es hermano mío, de sangre vinagrosa. ¿Qué significa? What does it mean? ¿Qué significa tener sangre vinagrosa? Vinagrosa es the vinegar. Rosa. Okay. Okay. I think it like is a reference to like how alcohol becomes vinegar when you leave it for a long time and when it goes bad. So expired alcohol. Expired. Honestly, fuck this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing all this. I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing all that. I'm just gonna copy paste it onto the document so I can like actually comment on it. So these are the three angles of analysis that we can use. The poem is not the life of the author. I give up. I give up. I'm just gonna fucking side by side. Just leave it at that. I'm just gonna fucking leave it at that. We did nothing. This is the other one. 240 something, I think. Alright. Is this? No, this is Bull Machete. Esperanza Malavé Sintron. Malavé. Yeah, Malavé. No Malavé, Malavé. Ojo con el. Beware with the fucking. Ni de aquí na allá. Wait, I have no idea what pages it is. Give me page 5. See where to the index so I can see. This is very tiresome. Guys, never leave stuff like this for last minute. Never do that. Don't do that. Then, wow. One other person joined the stream at some point. Subscribe, chat. Guys, come on. This is so very entertaining. I'm torturing myself over here. Not even for content, because nobody's watching this. Like, nobody literally gives a shit. But I've gotta torture myself anyway. I might as well leave it, like, document it, Ay, Dios. Toda la vida. Here we are. 217. That's so close. Angelito is my brother. Can you understand? Speaker speaks. Redundancy, I know, but still. Speaker expresses themselves in first person. Speakers as a brother of a biological brother who is addicted to alcohol, or so this seems to imply. A very impulsive alcoholic that steals stuff to pay for alcohol. Okay, so not that broad talk we misuse, but the real down brother brought salsa, sangre de madre. There is an issue with the way that the poem is structured. We have parts of the poem that are like straight to the left, and also we have ones that are in something of a separate column, kind of, not quite, but these like secondary verses, maybe should we read them? I'm just gonna read them as they are, like in that very order. I'm not gonna do anything exotic right now because otherwise I'm just gonna drive myself insane. Okay. Continue. Angelito is my brother dancing slow curves of misery, nodding slow motion tunes of alcohol dynamic soul, arrastrándose por la calle con su andar de ángel loco. Oh, it's Spanish. It's the Spanish. Now I get it, I think. Yes. Yes. Oh my god. Entendí. Fuck. Finally. Okay, fair enough. Oh, holy shit. Yeah, that's what it means. That's what it's for. The right column. That's huge. The structure of the poem. The words that are being said. 3 angles of analysis. Let's go. Okay. Just gonna make the outline kind of form. So I can wait. Give me a second. Shit. Just that. Yeah, whatever. Explicit words. Words said. Words said. Poems. Structure. And author's background. So, words said. With words said, we're gonna put all this shit. There we go. And with poem structure, the poem is structured in such way that all the Spanish content is accommodated to accommodated. Is that a word? No, it's not. Oh my god. It's not even giving me. Then why is it saying, oh my god. It's not even giving me a suggestion. It's saying like nothing. Okay, whatever. Apology implies someone died. Okay, the poem is structured in such a way that Spanish accommodated is that all the verses that are in English are flush to the left of the page, whilst verses in Spanish are to the right, with the exception of a few words. So that's something worth noticing. I took way too long to notice that. Wow, that remains. Okay, that's very embarrassing. Ok, continuamos. We continue. Arrastrándose por las calles con su andar de ángel loco. Standing on the usual corner, the talk of all the affliction in the ghetto. He took the radio, he hid the checks, he took my wallet, he stole the ticket from the pawn shop. But Angelito, they put him. Ay, mami. Ay, mami. ¿Me entiendes? Ay, there, mother. You understand me. Angelito is being sponsored by soft legislators and by multi-million dollars. The racket is worth annually. And all of you love The Godfather, the all-time ghetto best film forever. What is the racket? Racket. Meaning a type of bat with a round, oh my god, cabrón, en serio. North American as no shoe resembling a racket. A loud and pleasant noise, the noise and liveliness of fashionable society, and legal or dishonest scheme for obtaining money. That will probably. The racket is worth annually. That makes more sense. So a racket. He steals. Okay, so he steals stuff. He stole the radio. Hid checks. He stole the radio, a wallet. Wallet. The ticket. Since I'm shifting from Spanish to English, it's kind of hard to. Hey, I got another view. It's another person who just did not stay for long. That's great. So the ticket of the poncho. I don't know what that is. ¿Qué es el poncho? What is a poncho? I said poncho. No, I did not say poncho. I did not say poncho, maricón. Huele puta, huele bicho. Fuck you. Internet. I hate fucking internet. Me poncho. Also means I got fucked. In the sexual sense. It can mean that. But eso poncho. No poncho. But, I mean, I guess it could be a rough translation that is like a type of. So person and switches from English to Spanish to a mixture of both throughout the poem. Angelito is being sponsored by soft legislators and by the multi-million dollars the racket is worth annually. And all of you love The Godfather, the all-time ghetto best film forever. So it checks. And the such. So that's all we know till now. He seems to be on the streets as well. On the streets. Because we say dancing slow curves of mystery, nodding slow motion tunes of alcohol dynamic soul, arrastrándose por la calle, so dragging himself through the streets with his crazy angel walk. Kind of, that's what it kind of says here. So, eso es lo que dice. Se llegó el radio, me escondió los cheques, me quitó la cartera, se robó el ticket del pawn shop, pero Angelito lo pusieron ahí, mami, me entiende. If you want the translation for that, hit like 2 minutes before this. Because I did translate it word for word, and I'm not gonna do that shit again. Angelito is being sponsored by self-legislators and by... Exacto, I read this already. ¿Me entiendes, papi? Angelito lo tenían ahí, amedrentándole las venas. Como cosas sucias que le impregnaron a ese hermano mío de sangre vinagrosa, húmeda de esa sangre descalza aguada, que cambió de roja a blanca. You understand me, daddy? Daddy in the sense of the, dad, like the actual father. Angelito lo tenían ahí, and Angelito, they had him there, amedrentándole las venas. I don't know how to translate that, no sé qué significa amedrentar. I think it's like to torture. Amedrentar. Infuse fear, terrorize, or intimidate. They were intimidating his veins. Pronombre. Mocosas sucias, dirty bitches, basically, le impregnaron a ese hermano mío de sangre vinagrosa, húmeda de esa sangre descalza aguada que cambió de roja a blanca. Angelito was angered by the teacher, the preacher, the liberal, the social worker, the basketball coach that mistreated him and didn't let him express his inner feelings. Angelito seems to speak to his mother and father when... No, not Angelito. Speaker addresses seems to address his mother and father when speaking in Spanish. ¿Me entiendes, papi? Angelito lo tienen ahí amedrentándole las venas, cosas sucias que le impregnaron. Ok. Angelito seems it is implied. It is implied that Angelito was driven to addiction by a bitch crackhead. I'm gonna turn in this document, by the way. Not really, it's bitch, another addictive bitch. The húmeda de esa sangre descalza aguada, because I can understand this parts up to here. Sangre vinagrosa. Sangre vinagrosa may imply the extent of his addiction. Like this basically means like vinegarous blood, basically. Just like kind of alluding to the fact that, wine and other alcohol derived or alcohol drinks, basically other liquids, they turn into vinegar when they go bad. So, like, by saying that he has like vinegar in his veins, he has drunk so much alcohol that he has gone bad, and that's why it's vinegar, not necessarily alcohol. So there's that, maybe. That is more or less the implication. Angelito was angered by the teacher, the preacher, the liberal, the social worker, the basketball coach. He was not supported. The system that was meant to support him and to keep him from falling into this addiction, surprise, surprise, fucking betrayed him. So there's that. That's another part. The teacher, the liberal, the social worker. So worker and the basketball coach all figures that could have held a helping hand, helped him, instead mistreated him. Ok. Angelito le hicieron un trabajo espiritual, le echaron agua maldita, le mezclaron sus buenos pensamientos, le partieron el melodioso cantar del cucurucú en su cantar de brujos. Ok, Angelito le hicieron un trabajo espiritual, le echaron agua maldita. To Angelito, they did to him a spiritual job. They threw him cursed water. They mixed his good thoughts. There are no commas, so I don't know, like, the tense, like the way that sentences are structured in Spanish and English. It's kind of flipped. So it's like SVO and SOB. I don't know which is which. I'm not gonna go into that right now. But it's kind of hard to translate it because I've got to flip the subject. No, not the subject. The verb and the object. I've got to flip them. I don't remember which is which, and I'm not about to figure that out right now. So it's kind of hard when you don't know where the fucking sentence ends and what is the object and what is the verb and stuff. So also another thing for the structure, we rarely get any periods. How many periods are we getting? We got lack of distinct lack of punctuation. Other writers. For example, Gabriel Garcia Marquez in 100 Years of Solitude. You may have seen the Netflix series. A lot of sex, a lot of incest. It happens, I guess. There's a particular page or like a period of like 3 pages where it's prose, right? It's a novel, but the author never writes a period within those 3 pages, and it is basically like the analysis of those 3 pages basically explains that it is to evoke a sensation of urgency, or just like how everything is just falling upon itself, basically. I don't know how to explain it really well. Que todo está como que descarrilándose. Everything is going off the rails, just like really quickly, and therefore it's all stacking up on each other, and you just have this extremely 3-page long sentence that is just a bunch of shit happening, and the fact that there's no punctuation means that it's just there's no stopping to it. It's just all of that. It's happening without stop, without any type of pause. And ever since reading that 100 Years of Solitude, I won't say it's a great read. It's got a lot of incest. It's got a lot of sex. If you don't like read a lot into the author's life, you're not gonna understand jack shit. So if you don't like research, I don't know why the fuck you're in this stream. If there's actually anyone watching the stream. Is there anyone watching the stream? No, there's nobody watching the stream actually. That's so cool. That's great. 1 concurrent viewer and 5 views. And this concurrent viewer had 32 no chat rate. And the views have only scaled upwards. That is so great. Anyways, we're back to concurrent viewers, and we're back to going with. Is there anybody here? No. There was somebody at 2:15 or something like that. So like 2 or 3 minutes ago, there was somebody watching the stream. So there's that. Distinct lack of punctuation. So it may represent basically how it is all being said in like a single breath, kind of, basically. Angelito is my brother, can you understand? Angelito is my brother, not that bro talk with misuse, but the real down brother blood salsa, sangre de madre. Angelito is my brother, dancing slow curves of mystery, nodding slow motion tunes of alcohol dynamics flow, arrastrándose por la calle con su andar de ángel loco, standing on the usual corner to talk about the affection in the ghetto. Se llevó el radio, me escondió los cheques, me quitó la cartera, se robó el ticket del poncho, pero Angelito lo pusieron ahí, mami. ¿Me entiende? Angelito is being sponsored by soft legislators and by the multi-million dollars the racket is worth annually. And all of you love The Godfather and the all-time ghetto best film forever. ¿Me entiendes, papi? Angelito lo tenían ahí, amenazándole las venas, mocosas sucias que me impregnaron ese hermano mío de sangre vinagrosa. Húmeda esa sangre descalza aguada y que cambió de roja a blanca. Angelito was angered by the teacher, the preacher, the liberal, the social worker, the basketball coach that mistreated him and didn't let him express his inner feelings. A Angelito le hicieron un trabajo espiritual, le echaron agua maldita, le mezclaron sus huesos, sus buenos pensamientos, le partieron el melodioso cantar de cucurucú, sí, en su cantar de brujos. Angelito didn't get the chance to receive an education or to graduate from basic English courses. No lo querían curar. I feel like this space here may be like this space here. No la querían curar because of that once a junkie, always a junkie theory I was taught 10 years ago when heroin had not yet invaded the weird fences of Queens. All of the sudden drugs reached Queens Boulevard. There's a point here. And I'm going to piss because I am absolutely pissing myself. Be right back. Well, a whole lot of breakdowns, not enough breakthroughs. I'm gonna skip my first class just to get this shit done. I'm back with a biscotti. Damn. The stream has a delay of like 20 seconds. Oh shit, some guy came in while I was in the bathroom. Not great. Not really. Before that. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. So we got the structure. The stuff that is actually being said. Angelito was cursed. That's the general message of this stanza right there. I don't understand what it actually means. Like, I get the words, but I don't see how they threw him cursed water. They mixed his good thoughts. They like a Angelito le hicieron un trabajo espiritual. Le echaron agua maldita. They threw him cursed water. They mixed his good thoughts. They split the melodious song of the cucuruco, which is the way in which it is roosters are represented to sing in Spanish. In his witch singing, it just doesn't make sense. It just like the words, the fragments together just don't make sense unless you like put comas or something, and there's just like a distinct a lack of punctuation, except in the Spanish parts. So might represent two things, as I mentioned earlier, with the 100 Years of Solitude reference. There's a possibility that it may represent urgency. It may represent how everything is just going off the rails. Everything is just very to represent someone telling some other person something very fast. Basically, that's the general idea. Or now that I think about it, it may represent how a Puerto Rican person has broken English and how they are struggling to speak in English. And it is actually no, it doesn't really make sense. Never mind. I was about to say that only the parts in Spanish have like good grammar, but not really. Like this entire part is in Spanish, and that's the most confusing part yet. And the only like actual comma here is in this verse. Entiende, papi? It's kind of a question, but not really. I guess it's a question, but without the question mark. So maybe it's an indirect question. I don't know. did forget to mention this part. La sangre vinagrosa by a bitch crackhead. Yeah, no, this goes even before this. It's after this. So, speaker claims that basically the system is responsible for Angelito's behavior. Basically, no clue. Anyway, Angelito's cursed. Angelito didn't get the chance to receive an education or to graduate from basic English courses. No la querían curar. Was cursed. People did not want to associate with him. Angelito, because of him being a crackhead. Not a crackhead, a junkie. Also heroin. So heroin plus alcohol, that is crazy. No wonder he fucking died. No lo quieren curar. Also, sudden use of punctuation. And all kinds of addiction centers popped off on my blog to cure them. Y tú, condenado madre y padre, a veces te digo, por dejarte convencer sus cabezas por sus caprichos de más dinero, por parar de sembrar guineos, por traernos a este maldito sitio donde nos ultrajaron los bichos de varones, las tetas llenas de leche de mi abuela, los poderosos pezones de aquellas jibaritas que se meneaban poderosamente, que me hubiese gustado agarrarla con mucho gusto. Ahora, a esa jibarita me la tienen como tecata flaca, perdida en su desaliento, andando de prostituta, abriéndole las patas al viejo palo de mapo. I don't know if everything I just said is gonna earn me a ban in YouTube because it was very, very explicit. But I will attempt to translate it all. And you, cursed mother and father, sometimes I tell you, singular by the way, not plural. So they address their mother and their father here, and also a veces te digo, which is singular, not plural. Because if it was plural, it would say a veces les digo, not te digo. So there's this disagreement in subject verb basically. Por dejarte convencer, by allowing yourself to be convinced, their heads by their capricho. I forgot how to say that. I'm sorry. Whims. By their whims of more money to stop planting bananas. And you, cursed mother and father, sometimes I tell you, by letting yourself convince their heads, by their whims of more money, by stopping our planting of bananas, by bringing us to this place, to this cursed place, where we were humiliated, the male sticks, the boobs filled with milk of my grandmother, the powerful tits of that jibarita, of that country girl, basically, that moved powerfully. I would have liked to grab her with a lot of con mucho gusto, with gladly, basically. Now that Jibarita, that country girl, they've got her like a thin bum, basically, lost in her desaliento, in her depression, basically. Uh, Going as a prostitute, opening her legs to the old mop, mop, um, mop stick, like a bottle de mapo, just like a fucking mop stick, literally. And the other junkies, the real junkies of the true definition of the word junkie, the ones who stump your community with high class hopes shaded by lack of real attention, they profited, died, fat cats, and bought their way into heaven. Nunca lo oí decir ni hablar nada sobre ellos, zánganos aguajeros. Sigan tomando cerveza, sigan mirando novelas, sigan criticándose uno a otro, sigan echándole la culpa solo a los padres. Angelito sabía todo esto. Entonces él en la perdición de su muerte está más despierto que ustedes. Angelito me dijo todo esto. Cuando yo hablo contigo, lo único que oigo es el score de los Mets. And the rest of you, so-called pretty looking, bad, so bad, dumb, young. Spics are sleeping underneath the $45 price of your pants. No entendí un carajo. I've never heard them say nor speak nothing about them. Zánganos aguajeros. I don't even know how to translate that. Zánganos aguajeros. Drones? Drone holes? No, nada que ver. Nothing to do. Zángano is basically like a bit of an insult. Aguajero is like someone who's like doing a lot of show, they're bullshitting a lot. Zángano aguajeros, sigan tomando cervezas, keep drinking beers, keep looking at novels, keep critiquing yourself, keep critiquing each other, keep blaming only the parents. Angelito knew all this, and then in him losing himself, in his death, he is more awake than all of you. Angelito told me all of this. When I talk with you, the only thing I hear is the score of the Mets, and then the rest of it is in English. You can read it yourself. Screw you. Okay. So I don't quite understand any part of this fucking shit. I feel like we're definitely gonna have to get a lot more text here. Oh no. Oh dear God. I got 4 minutes here. Okay. Con este poema vemos la maximización. With this poem, we see the maximization of the conditions of the immigrant that had been described in fundamental texts such as those by Bernardo Vega, Memorias de Bernardo Vega, Jesus Colón, A Puerto Rican in New York, and other sketches, and Trópico en Manhattan, de Guillermo Coto Turner. Nevertheless, the radical difference between both narratives, forged from the exterior, is the change of the narration of the cult narration to the grotesque. These narrations, they basically present realities of the immigration before the immigration of the 40s and 50s, anterior a la migración de los años 40 y 50, being sintomáticas de difíciles procesos de asimilación, difficult processes of assimilation due to racism, poverty, disemployment, dissolution, among others. For example, the Colón's story, Hiawatha into Spanish, from his previously mentioned book, narrates the realities of a Puerto Rican black guy who is denied employment. Like an offer of employment that was previously like promised to him, when the person that was offering the job, they realized it was not, they did not personally know the main character of that story, and that the main character of the story is black, and the person did not know until they saw the guy, and then went like, no, actually, I'm not gonna give you a job. You're too black for that, which is kind of fucking insane. What is particular about these texts by their narrative value and because they were like conceived by the beginning of the 20th century, they're considered mortuario. I have no idea how to say that in English. They basically became exhibitions of the first intellectual formations of the Puerto Rican average guy in the metropolis. It's a testimonial, basically, and the participation of the characters is active in society, basically, society as a whole rejects them. This narrative body it's composed mostly by characters of agricultural background and whatever. Yeah, just gonna look for another quote of La Viera. This is the first one. This is the second one de las publicaciones, las producciones, sobre todo la exposición de esta nueva corriente latente del barrio de Nueva York. La literatura neorriqueña surge como un rumor que no se puede contener. La exposición de autores como La Viera, Sandra María Esteves, Miguel Algarín, Miguel Piñero, Pedro Piedra, entre otros, desafían esa plataforma cimentada por los padres de la migración que aparenta una suavicización de su condición de inmigrante. La acusación a los padres de la migración es haberlos obligado a desarrollar un e-bill o whatever the fuck that is. That third quote, where is it though? Oh, it's right there. La Viera valida lo vulgar utilizándolo como legítimo recurso literario, hiriendo la sensibilidad y manejando un espacio hurganado por una nueva realidad puertorriqueña. La Viera validates the vulgarity of what he's saying, using it as a legitimate literary resource, hurting the sensibility and managing a devastated space by the new Puerto Rican reality. The parents are blamed for the distance they created from the organic life from the country to the capitalist that seduces him, Angelito, to fool everyone, basically, or not fool everyone. That's not the word. To engañar, to engañar, to cheat others, basically. El engaño fue por la presunta promesa de una vida mejor lejos del campo y en la ciudad. The cheating was because of the assumed promise of a better life away from the country and closer to the city. The industrialization activated a migratory current in the interior and the exterior of Puerto Rico. One of the first few migraciones isleñas. This is what I mentioned. One of the first big migrations was within Puerto Rico, from the country to the city. And I'm gonna see if I can find something about that here in this book. Puerto Rico en el siglo americano, su historia desde 1898. PPD y reforma social. This is 1950. Líder del PIB. Gilberto Concepción de Gracia. Lo que era. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Just looking through a bunch of this stuff to see where it is mentioned, where the death migration is. At the debate of in the UN in 53, the ELA since 52. I sincerely hope that there's at least some semblance. Operación Transformación y Desplazamiento, there we go, Operación Manos a la Obra. La evolución económica y política de Puerto Rico después de 1945 se puede ver como una serie de continuidades y discontinuidades. En lo político, la creación del Estado Libre Asociado supuso una reformulación importante de los reclamos de legitimidad del gobierno insular dentro de una estructura colonial persistente. The economic and political evolution of Puerto Rico after 1945 can be seen as a series of continuities and discontinuities. In the political aspect, the creation of the Commonwealth, the political status of PR, supposed an important reformulation of the claims of legitimacy of the insular government within a colonial structure. De forma similar, en lo económico, los cambios que ocurrieron antes de la creación de la ELA transformaron radicalmente el panorama productivo insular sin alterar su naturaleza colonial y dependiente. Basically saying that Puerto Rico remained a colony, even after the writing of Puerto Rico's Constitution in 1952. Después de la guerra, la transformación económica de Puerto Rico se desarrolló en un contexto internacional muy específico. Al tiempo que la descolonización comenzaba a ganar terreno a finales de la década del 40, el capitalismo mundial se embarcaba en un largo periodo de expansión que duró hasta finales de la década del 60. La reorganización de la economía mundial durante el auge de la posguerra incluyó la semi-industrialización de algunas áreas subdesarrolladas y productoras de materia prima, así como una considerable migración de regiones poco desarrolladas a otras más desarrolladas. Puerto Rico participó activamente de esta tendencia, basically saying that after, I think, World War II, or the Hispanic-Cubanic-American War, where Puerto Rico was transferred, Puerto Rico's ownership was transferred to the U.S. Basically, capitalism was in expansion, basically. And I believe I have a book around there that details how both communism and capitalism they hit a plateau in the 1960s, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. So maybe that's what it means with this expansion, that it was about to hit that plateau. Oh my god, it's fucking 3 a.m. I usually shower at 5 to go to the university. So we're just reading a bunch of books. Wow. I think we've gone down in viewership. Not viewership, in engagement time. Average view duration is 29 seconds. For a while it was, wow, okay, that was lower. There was a time where the average view duration was 6 minutes for some ungodly reason. I don't know if it was it was at the beginning of the stream, so I don't know if me keeping that screen open contributed to that, but I've my phone is there and it's not, I haven't joined the stream through my phone, so I wouldn't know who that is or why they spent 6 minutes waiting for me to set up the fucking audio. So sleepy. I'm very sleepy. And I've drunk 2 cups of black coffee in just in this night. Also, I'm cold. The air conditioning is working finally. I feel like sleeping briefly, but I know that if I fall asleep, I'm not gonna get up. Well, unless I keep my phone right beside my head, which is not recommended. Don't do that. And I put the alarm at max volume, so it blows my ears to fucking hell and back, and so I wake up. But not the point. The point is that we've got this. We've got this writing. This is one quote, and I probably can get something from here. So, what am I going to argue? I'm going to argue the point of the essay is to argue about the meaning and interpretation of the poem. We haven't quite gotten there to the point where we understand the entire poem. We've only gotten to the point where we understand like individual verses or individual parts. We see that Angelito is cursed. He's cursed and well, quote unquote cursed, and that he is very much addicted to heroin and alcohol. It is explicitly mentioned that he is. He is out on the streets. It is implied that he is homeless because he's like around the streets basically. And that he's just walking around constantly. He also seems to be stealing from his family, and also kind of the speaker, not Angelito. The speaker mocks the people who say that The Godfather is like such a good movie because basically Angelito is living the consequence of all of these mobsters like going like I got the fucking no, they didn't say fucking. No, I've got the whole accent wrong. Anyways, that's my spot you got there. You can't go sell your drugs there. I'm smoking through the wrong, whatever. The point is, he mocks people for like romanticizing people who are romanticizing the consumption or the life of a mobster, basically, or the consumption of drugs. So there's that. I'm so sleepy. El pasado en el poema de la Viera evoca la experiencia en Puerto Rico. La utilización del español es imprescindible de este pasado histórico por ser uno construido en español. El presente se narra desde una nueva circunstancia, dentro de un nuevo país y de dentro de un nuevo idioma. The past in the poem of La Viera evokes experiences in Puerto Rico. The use of Spanish is necessary for this historic past because it is one that is constructed in Spanish. The poem is narrated from a new circumstance within a new country within a new language. Nevertheless, we could never disconnect the subject of his historical past by integrating English in his narratives about the present. La Viera's poem exhibits the use of both languages The poem of La Viera exhibits in the use of both languages the bridge used by New Eurasian authors to communicate the new reality of the New Puerto Rican, the Spanglish. In some cases, bilingualism is used as the new social discourse. Oh yeah, Spanglish, a poem. To stand in the shadow of the scar up in the air, to stand for no one and nothing, unrecognized for you alone, with all there is room for in that, even without language. Para Ed Morales, to almost everyone, Spanglish is an ugly word. Esto permite que él lo defina como. This allows him to define it as Spanglish refers to a bastardized language, an orphan, a hybrid, a mule-in, short, a pathetic, clumsy creature incapable of producing viable offspring. I'm gonna go to sleep briefly. I can't say that I'll be back because I can't ensure anything. But I am literally falling asleep, like thinking about all of this. At least I feel like I have most of, like a breakdown of what is most of the poem about. So even if I wake up at fucking 5 o'clock, I can just skip the shower and just start doing this, which is bad actually. This needs to be peer reviewed before me going to the classroom. So maybe I have to take 2 copies and then give it one to the guy that's supposed to peer review my work. I'm not sure. Either way, it is not fun. This shit is not fun. Like, it would be fun if it was in my own time, whenever the fuck I want, and because I wanted to, not because the teacher told me to, or the course coordinator. My teacher is really good. My instructor, my current instructor who gives me the English classes, per se, she's really good. She's so sweet, but the course coordinator, man, he really loves to make life impossible for no fucking reason. He just kind of hates people now, I guess. No, I'm just speaking bullshit. Adiós, me voy, al carajo, bye.